we have reached the conclusion, the end of the Transformers Combiner Wars Titan Class Devastator series. We are going to finally look at the upgrade kit. Before we go into the review, I'd like to mention that this is my metallic Autobot symbol. Ladies and gentlemen, my girlfriend has a Decepticon symbol which matches it. And a review of these guys in all of their perfect effect, perfect combiner PC-07 glory would not be possible without her. Sometimes Decepticons live to surprise you and do wonderful things. It's why I call her Starscream girlfriend. This came to me as an early Valentine's Day gift. I love her dearly and I thank her for this. It was ordered from ages 3 and up. So sit back, join me now, and let's see what sort of effect the PC-07 set has on upgrading these guys. See ya inside the video. Hi. This is Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot, and this is Combiner Wars Titan Class Devastator. Well, kind of. He's been upgraded with this set. This is the perfect effect, perfect combiner PC-07 set. It is the set that gives you the guns. It is the set that gives you the arm pieces. This is the box. You know, nice box. I mean, as far as boxes go, and your warnings and everything else on the bottom. Weaponry, bot elbows, G1 guns, and a bunch of stuff I can't read. If you can, you know, great. Inside, you had a clamshell that had the 6 guns in it. You had another clamshell that had the arm pieces in it. And you had this instruction sheet. It's nice that it's color, but it's not the easiest instructions to follow. A lot of it was trial and error, hit and miss. And most of the people who have reviewed this set have done so from, you know, individual bots on up to combined mode. Me, being the oddball that I am, I'm going to start in combined mode and work my way down. This is the GotBot true review of PC-07 Combiner Wars Devastator upgrade. Okay, folks, welcome back to the channel. This is Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. Social media links below. Check me out on all those things, please. Subscribe, comment, like, share, all that good stuff. Check out my first work, The Everything Factor and Machinery of Man. Let's get down to business. This guy here is Devastator and in combined mode. How does the PC-07 Perfect Effect set affect him? Well, first things first, he still stands well. A lot of people have been worried about the arms on Scrapper. You know, they're a different orientation. A lot of people have worried about this bend, and they say if you know, lean him back, oh, he's going to fall and all this. Well, you know what? I have him stood up straight there, and he's not falling. He's fine. He is solid as a tack. Then you have the arms of Mixmaster. Honestly, no different. Same thing. Same sort of position. No problem there. We have the arms on Hook. Honestly, the arms on Hook, one just goes bent up here. The other one, a lot of people said, well, it doesn't fit in the slot where the old arm fit. Not quite, but you can still, when you hook it in, if you, I don't even know if you can see this. If you look back right here, you can still push it in so it's kind of resting in the location where the old one was. And then we have the guns and the hands for long haul. Well, they all go back here. And there's 100 different configurations. You can put all the guns together, stick them in the hands. I put 2 of them up here, I put 1 in here, I put 3 of them together over here. Do what you like. I will say this, the hand pieces cannot stay on long haul in combined mode. They have to come back and store back here, which is fine. The way that they store, and you just saw my problem, the way they go on over these pegs right here, and the hand grips it. But this one does not grip it. Here's why, and I'll take this one off to show you. And you will want to be careful of this when you get your copy. Look at those 2 fists. This one here, nice molded fist detail. You see all the fingers, it's nice. This one here, however, is, what's all this? Why does he only have 3 knuckles and then the last one cut off? There was a problem with the mold. Do I care? Do I care? Does this make it a bad set? No, definitely not. So we will take all of these off. Here are the guns. Here are the guns. Here are the guns. All off. Honestly, I had given Devastator an overall mark of 8. Does this set enhance him any? Or make him worse? Neither. He's still an 8. He's still a good Devastator figure. This is the retail version. I did a bit of custom paint work on the arms here. And I did a bit of custom paint work down here on Mixmaster. And in a couple of other spots, just to add a little bit of silver to break things up. If you're going to use a paint pen and try your own custom work, hey, go for it. Make sure it's acrylic paint and make sure that it cures properly. That could take a little bit of effort. So, let's take off this chest piece and get this out of the way. And let's begin with this guy over here. If I can get him off. This is Bonecrusher, folks. I gave 9 if I'm not mistaken. Because I figured out how to do this transformation on the hips, and you know what, I'll show you guys how to do it too. This guy's a real winner with this set because he gains his G1 gun, and you know, who wouldn't want him to have his G1 gun? The tricky part is knowing which gun belongs to him. All these guns and the instructions really aren't super clear on who owns which one. But it is safe to assume that this gun belongs to him. Can it store in vehicle mode? Well, yes it can in a specific spot. If you go over here, you'll notice that there is a screw hole on the side. It pegs, I think it pegs, if this is the right gun. Maybe this is the right gun. See the issue? See the issue with using the instructions? That's the issue with using the instructions. It's not, they're not real clear as to who owns what gun. Okay, this gun belongs to him. And it's a beautiful looking gun. It's certainly better than this as a gun. And we stick it in the peg hole like that, or I guess you could, if you wanted to. No, maybe you can't stick it in that peg hole like that. You know, there you go. Right there. You know, there's a gun in the side for Bonecrusher. And then we come to these joints here. Everybody hates these joints. Step 1, in case I didn't do it, and maybe I did. Step 1, for anybody just watching this video, open them up like he's doing the splits. Step 2, make sure that you push the black pieces together and that they do tab in. They might try and push out on each other. Then step 3, put your fingers on the green parts, and you kind of have to push up at a 45-degree angle. When you do so, no, that didn't do it. Put that in. I didn't say it was easy, I said it worked. Those black pieces are not tabbed in. There. You'll hear a little click. You push up at a 45 and you'll hear a little click, and when you hear that little click, his legs are done, and he's a lot better. You know, if you, except he doesn't want to stand for me now, if you want to use the Combiner War weapon, hey, go for it still. If you want to use this weapon, go for it, and he looks better with it. Again, does it change his score? No, I scored him really high to begin with. It adds the weapon that he should have always had. So that is number 1. Now we move on to the other easy member of the bunch, and that's going to be none other than Boom, Scavenger. Heads and boom. There you go. And again, he has you know, a designated weapon as well. It is this one. Nice little pistol. And you will notice that there's a peg here. There's a peg here. You can take the hole that is in this and just peg it on over. There's his weapon storage. Again, not bad weapon storage. And there you go. Does it change his score? No, he was a 10. He's still a 10. It just makes him a 10 plus. Now on to the more interesting ones. Let's go next with Hook, who I will show still in his combine mode. I mentioned how this hand doesn't really fit down straight like it did in the slot, you know, before, and it doesn't. It kind of stays back on this angle. This fist, instead of facing out straight, it's able to bend up now, and I kind of like that. So, is this a better set for him? Well, we'll see. You know, we'll see in a minute. Let's transform this guy to vehicle and then to robot, because it's just easier that way. Put this up and put that in. And again, I'm not going through the transformation in detail here because it's already been done in his review video. It just doesn't need to be done here. I can flip that piece up and put it back in. Devastator's head, that also flips back in. The way that this was before is the arm locked into the upper arm and it was out straight. Now if you were to do that, it would not quite look right. It would be down kind of too low. It's just not right. This one is designed hold on. This one is designed, oh, I gotta put in the section of chest, to fold up. Some people don't like the fist being here. I don't really notice that they're fists. I don't really pay much attention to it. You know, he still rolls fine. It's a nice addition to him. And again, he too has a specific weapon. His is which one is his? His is this gun. Nice scope, nice molding. It's a nice gun. And there's a rectangular slot there. There's a rectangular slot there. And in vehicle mode, that just tabs on the side, on either side, no less. So we put them into robot mode. This time, you need to, well, to bend out his arms here, I guess. And they look a little weird right now, but that's because you need to straighten them out. And you need to straighten them out. No problem. We undo the shoulders just as we did before. Shoulders, just as we did before. We bring the back piece down. Remember, I only brought it down part way. And now, as we did before, when we bent his arm, we had something like this that created a really weird looking 90-degree elbow. Now we have more natural looking elbows. And you'll notice that the paint matches great in person, at least on my copy of this set. The paint match is still spectacular, to be honest with you. Very, very happy with it. And the gun naturally fits in his hand. And if you were interested enough to want him to have the chest piece, yeah, that still fits in his hand too, right? Although the arm isn't really tight enough to hold it. That's the one thing about his arm pieces. They're great. I like them, but they're not the tightest. This one seems to be a little bit tighter, but they're not the tightest pieces. Do they look better? Yeah. Am I going to keep these ones in? Probably. I have no reason not to. Let's move on, shall we? This time we're going to look at... We'll look at Mixmaster next. I know, everybody is saying, why don't you get to Scrapper? Why don't you get to Long Haul? That's what everybody wants to see. Well, one thing at a time. And I'm trying to get through the easiest ones first. Here we have Mixmaster. And looking at it on the back, I mean, his arms are pretty much in the same position that they were all along. The Perfect Effect arms really work like the old arms did. There's a peg here, and there's a slot right here, and it just pegs on like that. Peg here, slot here, and again pegs on like that. He still has the, you know, silver, I guess, tank pieces. Now, the weapon for him is actually pretty interesting because it's sort of shown using the PC-06 set. Now, what if you don't have the front on this guy? What if you need to store this weapon somewhere else? Well, you can. You can always just you saw what happened there, didn't you? You'll notice that this piece just popped off. We will get to it in robot mode, but I'm going to tell you now that particular arm, not very tight. The weapon, you could always just stick it in the hand and have it go along the side if you don't have the piece to go over the front of the cab. And in this mode, hey, it looks great. And you can see what's happening here with this set, can't you? I'm going to tell you now, as far as I'm concerned, the original arms that were on Mixmaster are probably going to go back on Mixmaster. They were better than these. I don't think that this is an upgrade for him, largely because they don't really stay pegged in. And that's a real shame. I'm disappointed by that, but does it ruin the set? No, because that's not really why I got this set to begin with. Here's his gun in his hand. It looks great, and this arm holds well. This arm holds quite well, to be honest with you. In terms of the weapons that he had, I can give him This one doesn't really want to fit in the hand. There you go. I can give him this one. The difference is with this set is, you know, you still have your bicep swivel, you still have your hand swivel, but this arm is so, that arm is so loose. If they were both like this, would it add a lot? Well, you know, he still wouldn't be able to go across his body. I don't think that this set, that these arms were needed. They were a nice touch. They were a nice idea. But if anything, I think that having at least this arm on hurts him. Who knows? Maybe I'll have one of each. Turn this guy into a real freak. Now for the main event. The two that everybody wants to see. Let's go with Long Haul. Here we have Long Haul in torso mode, and we already know that it was all connected to his back, so I will take a quick second to put him into bot mode. And now we come to the moment of truth. I already pointed out a fist imperfection, but does that ruin the set? No, you have a peg right here, and it goes on over his hand and pegs in just like a weapon. You have another peg right here, and it goes on over this one and pegs in just like a weapon. Some people have complained about the purple being left here. I kind of like it because I like having the purple to show consistency, but now he has beautiful, beautiful elbows. Oh, and that was my fault, not the set. That was not the set's fault, that was my fault. But now he has beautiful, beautiful elbows. Beautiful elbows. There, oh, it's so much better. It helps his mark. I don't even care that it's, you know, it's pegged in underneath here, and you can see that he's holding it like a weapon. That's not what matters. What matters is that now Long Haul has elbows, and truth is, the black looks good on him. I absolutely, positively love it. He had this big gun before. He can still hold it even in his gimpy hand, and now he has this G1 gun, which he can hold in this hand, and it looks just splendid. Just absolutely, positively splendid. I absolutely love it. These do have to come off for vehicle mode, however. So we will take these off again for vehicle mode, and I will just take a quick second to put him into dump truck mode. Okay, then that's on, and here you go. Boom, he's back in dump truck mode. And these secure. Oh, I forgot to hold up his feet. No wonder he wasn't going correct for me. Okay, now he's back in dump truck mode. And these easily, there's a couple of plastic tabs here. That will go in like that, in this slot here. These couple of plastic tabs will go in this slot here, like so. And I mean, they're, you know, is it super secure? No, probably not, but you know, is it secure enough? Yeah, I mean, they're not going anywhere. And of course you could load them up with all the weapons just as before, and we have this gun. What do we do with this? Well, there is a little rectangular opening right here. There's a tab on the top of his fist. And boom, it just goes down over. Does his mark improve? Well, you know, we had a 9 for Bonecrusher. We had a 9 for, we had a 10 for Scavenger. Hook is a little bit of an improvement. Overall, I'm going to give him an 8. Mixmaster, I think that this set hurts him. It would lower his mark, so I won't do it. Him, I believe I've given him a 7.5. This guy all of a sudden jumps to a 9 because he's so much better. The reason he's not a 10 is because, well, there's still a little bit of parts forming with these. It doesn't bother me too much. It might bother you a whole bunch, but it markedly improves this guy. And that brings us to the absolute grand finale of none other than the leader of the Constructicons, Scrapper. In limb mode, a lot of people said, hey, he'll lean back and fall over. Why are you leaning him back? Don't lean him back. In vehicle mode, I guess we'll do that since we are this close to it. Bring these around. Tab them in there, and bring this down. Now, before, the hands flipped in and the arms were kind of just straight here. Now, you have to bend at the elbow, you have to bend in the fist, and when you come down underneath, here, you're still going to put this peg into this hole, you're going to put this peg into this hole. They hold kind of loosely. They hold, you know, there, just like that. They hold kind of loosely. Is it, you know, a perfect fit? No, probably not, but some people have come in and said, oh, look how much wider he is with this set. I don't find him any wider with this set, to be perfectly honest with you. Not a bit. His gun is this gun. Cute little pistol. And the only way to have Scrapper hold it is to leave his fist like this and put it down in one of his fists, just like so. But I mean, he still rolls fine, he still stays together fine. I don't see anything wrong with him. You could even still take these stupid, useless bits and, you know, put one on there, and there's another peg hole there, or there's a peg there and another hole right there, and you could put them on like that, and he could still have his wing bits, I guess, but whatever. They're whatever. You know, here's his old arms. Here's the old arm for this side. Maybe it's the old arm for this side. You know, the ladder goes up straight now instead of going up and then breaking, going down and going up. Before, the hand flipped in and this just stayed here like this. You pop it off the mushroom peg, and that's how you pop these on. I'm going to tell you now, it was scary popping off his mushroom pegs. They were so hard to do, but I'm so glad that I did it. Similarly, I already showed you how his just peg in like guns. With Hook and Mixmaster, it was the same thing, because you have, let's find Hooks. You have a piece like this, and this was what you had to pull out of a hole right here. Well, actually, I guess this arm and this piece was in this hole right here. And honestly, you really need to secure holding onto this section and then secure holding onto this to pull it out. It's not as scary though as doing his mushroom peg on either Hook or Mixmaster, to be perfectly honest with you. Scavenger in robot mode. Well, you know what? Just do the same thing. Folding those down and folding those down. Back here, you just fold these down and you split them apart and you bring them on down around just as you had always done for his legs. This piece comes back and his head still comes up, and you pull it up till it clicks, really. There you go, like that. Now, this is where the change comes in. Before, you would unpeg the arm, you would unpeg the arm, and you'd flip out the fist, and have a hollow piece on the inside of the forearms. It was what it was. Now, the transformation is a little bit different. Now you bend down, you swivel so that the latter piece is now on the inside of the arm, and you have to pull out the fist, which is probably the most challenging part now, to be honest with you. I'll try and get the fist out in a second. Over on this side, you bend down the arm, you rotate, and you pull out the fist, and his gun is in it. As a matter of fact, maybe that's the easiest way to get the fist out on the other side, is to use his weapon. There you go. And now, look at this. He can actually scratch his own forehead. And if you saw the first video, you know that I had to scratch his forehead for him. These, I mean, they go across his body now beautifully. There's elbows, you know, there's rotation, there's everything. All of a sudden, Scrapper goes from being the worst of the bunch at a 7 to the best of the bunch at an absolute, just like Scavenger, he is now a 10. And this alone, along with the arms for long haul, reason enough to get the entire upgrade kit. PC-06, worth getting. If you like Prowlinator or Prowlistator, hey, why not? I'm not going for that aesthetic. I don't mind Mixmaster, you know, being the way that he is. So I don't really see a need to get that one. But the PC-07, is it worth it even with the imperfections on Mixmaster? Yeah, totally worth it. I would highly recommend that you run out, get this set, upgrade your Combiner Wars Titan Class Devastator, have a ball, sit back, smile, enjoy, have a coffee or a glass of pop or whatever you enjoy, and behold, here you have the entire set of the Constructicons. Honestly, about as perfect as you're going to get. Sorry this ran so long, but there was a lot to cover. If you have any questions, ask away of anything that I didn't cover. Thanks for watching. Please keep in touch, and you know, like I always like to say, like what you like, love what you love, care for yourself and others, and I'll see you next time.